Hello guys. So, today we are gonna start with chapter 3 of the book Run for the Hills Geronimo. But before that, if you haven't watched my first video, that means the part 1 of this audiobook, you'll get the link of it down in the description box. So, let's get started. Chapter 3, A Garbage Can with Wings. I boarded the plane and wedged myself next to a plump rodent wearing a cowboy hat pulled down over his eyes. I settled in and tried to calm down. Once I got to the Black Hills, I would be able to enjoy my relaxing vacation. No sooner had I finished that thought than the plane began to make me terrifying noise. I gulped and looked around. The airplane was in a state of total despair. The seat covers were torn, the springs had popped out of the cushions, the food tray wouldn't open, the windows were filthy. On the top of all that, there was no life jacket under the seat. Instead, there was an empty box that said, "You wanted to save a buck? Well, too bad for you. In case of an emergency, you're on your own." I checked to see if there were any paperbacks in case I started to get upset tummy. Naturally, there wasn't a single one. Instead, there was a note. "You wanted to save a buck? Too bad for you. In case motion sickness, you're on your own." This wasn't a plane. It was a garbage can with wings. I looked up and saw the flight attendant scowling at me. "You weren't about to complain, were you?" she growled. No, everything is just swell," I stammered. The other passengers didn't seem to notice the plane's shoddy condition or terrible sounds coming from its engine. They were all snoozing. Unbelievable! The plane was speeding along, about to take off. I gulped and grabbed the armrests. One of them broke off in my paw. Eek! This was going to be a long flight. Holy cheese! I was right about that. As soon as we were in the air, the rodent next to me took off his hat and shouted, "Surprise!" It was my cousin Trap. That was the signal of the other 6 passengers. They removed their cowboy hats too, squeaking, "Surprise!" It was my sister Thea, my friend Petunia, Pretty Paws, her niece Busky Wuzgy, my nephew Benjamin, my good friend Bruce Heiner, and my grandfather William Short Paws. I looked at them, dumbfounded. What are you doing here?" Trap laughed smugly. "Hey, Journalister, how do you like our little surprise? It's all my doing. When I heard you were leaving for a relaxing vacation all by your lonesome, I cancelled your ticket and booked a flight for all of us. On your dime, of course. Aren't you excited, Cousin Kins?" Then he lowered his squeak. "This relaxation is just a ruse, you see. You and I have a top secret mission. We're going to look for treasure in Black Hills, but don't squeak a word to anyone about it." Chapter 4. Did you like my surprise? I was struck, squeakless. When I finally found my voice, I stammered. You did." Before I could finish my thought, the flight attendant interrupted. "Stop whining and sit down. We are about to start rocking and rolling." "What? Dancing on a plane?" I assumed she was kidding. But at that movement, the plane started to go up and down, 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 up and down. I could feel the cheddar rice scent I had for breakfast rising in my throat. Chewy cheese chunks. I felt so sick I forgot to ask Track about the treasure in Black Hills and why it was such a big secret. As usual, Trap was as cool as cottage cheese. He never got sick. He settled into his seat and started leafing through a catalogue he would find in his seat pocket. I glanced over his shoulder. It seemed to advertise some very weird stuff. I was worried. What was my cousin up to? I sighed. My tummy was doing too many somersaults for me to investigate now, but I knew I would find out sooner or later. Chapter 4. Here, take the whole thing. The rest of the flight was painful, especially for my poor stomach. But luckily, the following morning we arrived safe and sound at the Rapid City Airport in South Dakota. This was where our journey through the Black Hills would begin. As we scampered off the plane, I realized I could relax at last. By all that cheesy and delicious, we are here, I shouted, and thanks good mouse, we are in one piece. I was so relieved I kissed the ground. My travel companions just shook their snouts. My sister mumbled, "That's my brother for you." What a fraidy mouse! I didn't care. I was too happy. If I could survive that flight, I could survive anything, even a vacation with Trap. I noticed my family members were all busy. It was great to travel with a group of friends. Everyone made himself useful. Trap put me in charge of renting the vehicles since everything was on my dime. The clerk from the rental car agency shook me from my thoughts. "Are you Geronimo Stelton?" "Yes, that's me," I replied. "May I please have your credit card?" I gave him my Mouse Express card. He swept it, then he looked at his computer screen and frowned. "I'm sorry, you're low in funds. Do you have another card?" I gave him my Mouse Express Gold card. He shook his snout. "It's still not enough to pay for the rentals." So I gave him my entire wallet with every credit card I had in it. "Here, take the whole thing." The clerk took the cards, swiping one after the other. Soon there was a wad of receipts for me to sign. They were as thick as the last Ratty Potter book. Holy cheese! With all that money, I could have paid for 10 relaxing vacations. Trap was standing next to me. He didn't seem to notice the dent the strip was making in my wallet. He was too busy leafing through the catalogue he'd find on the plane and squeaking away on his cell phone. Every so often he glanced over me. I was worried. What was my cousin up to? The clerk gave me back my wallet. I reached to take it, but it slipped out of my paw. All my credit cards spilled onto the floor. Chap helped me pick them up, but I got the sense he was smirking behind his whiskers. He was planning something. I just knew it. After he had picked up the credit cards, he immediately started on his cell phone again. He flipped furiously through the catalogue. I was worried. What was my crafty cousin up to now? Before I could ask, he snapped his phone shut and ran outside, shouting, "Hooray! We are leaving!" We rented one Mousewago camper with air conditioning, GPS, electric windows, and automatic locks. one Harley Davidson motorcycle with a detachable sidecar, 8 mountain bikes with sturdy and practical cushioned seats. So guys, the chapter 5 is over and we'll meet in part 3. So, but before that, please subscribe my channel to get the latest contents of it. Please share this video to your family and friends and please give a thumbs up. In fact, please give a like to it. So, let's meet in part 3. Till that, bye bye.